Be the change. Be the change. Mindfulness. Mindfulness. How can you, what is mindfulness? What is being mindful? Like being more present, being more aware of the things that you are doing, touching, feeling, interacting with when you are in it. Being mindful is like not knowing how your actions impact the world around you. Mindfulness is knowing how other people's actions are impacting you in your experience here on planet Earth. Mindfulness is being aware, being more aware of the things that you do with your life and in your life. And how can you find, like, why would you even want to find more mindfulness in, why would you have more mindful living? Why would you want to do that? Okay. Most of us are very busy. Like, we have a lot of things that we have to do. It's very stressful to be a person on planet Earth. It's a lot of things that have to be done to be a person here on planet Earth. And there's always, you wake up in the morning, and then even so, if you have a job or you have a family you have to take care of, then you have to get up, you have to go to work, you have to get the money, you got to make the food, you got to take care of the kids, you got to take care of this, you got to make sure that they have their rights, you got to make sure that your husband is okay, you got to make sure that all these things are working together, and maybe you're saving too, and so you have a little savings that you're also doing, and all these things you have to make sure that all these things are getting done. There's a lot of puzzles in that, just that kind of living, like that you have to be constantly able to accomplish. And so there's a whole long line of to-dos in your life when you have that kind of life. And so then you are usually, we get into routines and we get into just ways of doing things. And then you just find a way that you can do it. So you realize you get up in the morning, you do this, you do that, you do this, you do that, and then you do that, and then you do that. At the end of the night, you're like, oh, okay, I got everything done and everybody's happy, so it's good. And that's life, day after day, after day after day, after day after day, for majority maybe of people. Some people get up in the morning, have nothing to do, have nowhere to be, have no desire, no drive, no, just drifting, maybe looking for a job, kind of, don't really know what you want to do and don't really care either. And so maybe you just go out drinking instead, or you take drugs instead, or you just do something because, well, just drifting through life. This kind of life also has drifting quality, like you're not even present in the things that happen, you're not even engaging in anything around you, you're just drifting mostly in your headspace, maybe about the horrible things that happened before, maybe the trauma that you have experienced, these incidents that people did to you before that created a whole new reality for you, that was, and now you're unable to kind of get out of it. So you're just drifting and getting depressed and feeling unworthy, feeling worthless, and all that stuff. There are so many, and there are 100,000 ways to live in between those two, whether you're fully busy, you're out there doing something, you're nothing to do, and you're drifting. How can you be more mindful no matter where you are, no matter what your life looks like, no matter how you live your life, no matter where you are and how you feel? Like, how can you be more mindful? Like getting up in the morning, maybe you can be more mindful that you are getting up in the morning. And perhaps in those moments when you just wake up in the morning, perhaps you can be just sit there and get in touch inside of your body for a little bit. Just maybe stretching your hands, stretching your arms, feeling your arms, your shoulders, feeling your chest, your back, your abs, or like your core, feeling all of it. And then just taking like 2 minutes. It doesn't even have to take 2 minutes to get in grounding in your body, to be grounded in your body when you wake up. Now you're going to be more mindful of how you experience, wherever you take your body throughout the day, you're going to be more present from the body. So then maybe you go and brush your teeth, and then maybe you do change it up a little bit. So instead of brushing your teeth with your right hand like you always do, you do the other hand. So now you have to figure out how you can move this other hand in the same way to get the same result that you do automatically. Usually every day you do it automatically, but this time you're going to do it with a different arm. So now you have to be more mindful of what is going on with the arm, and you have to figure out how can this arm make the same movements as the other arm is doing automatically. Now you're being more present, and then maybe you can also be like, what does this toothpaste actually taste like? Do I like the taste of it? Is it like, what does it taste like to me? How does it feel on my teeth and my tongue and in my mouth when I am doing all this brushing and everything? What does it feel like? Is it foamy? Is it like kind of a little slick or a little weird? And then you become more mindful of what is going on in this little activity of just brushing your teeth. Maybe then afterwards you take a shower, and then maybe you'll be like, okay, feeling the water. Maybe intentionally you just be like, okay, I'm going to let all the old energies that is attached to my body, I'm just going to let it release and flush down with the water. So all of the stress from before, all the stress from the days before, all this anxiety, all the worry, I'm just going to let it flush down the drain. And just for this moment, I'm just going to be very grateful that I have clean water, that I can stand underneath it and I can clean myself up, cleanse my energy. And now you're more mindful of what kind of energy attachments, how the different experiences that you have is impacting you in your day-to-day business. Now you're being more mindful of all these things that is going on inside of you, like from the outside in. Being mindful, like then maybe you go out there and you're going to have a cup of coffee. Okay, then. So perhaps you always do your coffee this way. Now, though, maybe you can think about it and you're going to do it just a little bit differently. Maybe you have a different cup, or you just sit in a different place than you always usually sit when you drink the coffee. And perhaps when you drink the coffee, perhaps you can just list up some things that you are grateful for. Perhaps you're grateful that you have a body, like when you woke up in the morning and you could just feel your fingers and your hands and your body, and you can move yourself to brush your teeth. And perhaps you're just grateful that you have a toothbrush and that you have the toothpaste, that you're able to brush your teeth and to clean your mouth so that you can speak with people and don't scare them off throughout the day. And so you can take care of your mouth and take care of your well-being. Maybe you sit there with your coffee and you're just grateful that you could take a shower and cleanse up all this energy, all these inflicting co-workers that you always have to meet, and how they come in and try to sway your confidence or how to sway how you feel about things and all that stuff. Maybe you can be grateful that you have a shower, that you can rinse it off and understand that their behavior is their behavior, and you're able to stay in your own power no matter what is going on around you. And maybe you can be grateful for these things. This is like doing spiritual work in and mindfulness at the same time. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to find like 10 hours to do this stuff. You just have to be more mindful in the little activities that you already do it every day. And so when you wake up, maybe you be just like, remember this. And then you just remember to be grateful for the fingers and the eyes that can open up in the morning, and that the body can lay there and rest and recoup. And when you sleep, everything is healing and everything is getting back to order, and your body is recouping itself, recharging itself, and doing all this good stuff. So gratitude, being mindful in those little activities, just brushing your teeth, we take it for granted. Like we don't even think about it. Like it's just something that you do. But what if you start to think about it, like your teeth can chew the food, like how your mouth can talk and express things and do stuff and smile and do stuff like that. And so maybe you can find little gratitudes and be more mindful in the things that you already have them and you already do it every day. And then you can bring that into your routine, whether you are fully busy with a whole house full of to do and people to take care of, or maybe you're just out there drifting. And then maybe you can, but in equal measure, you can implement mindfulness into the activities that you do. Like perhaps you can, sometimes when we do things over and over and over again because it's routines. Like we get into routines and we just do that, the same thing every day. When you think back to 10 years, you have done the same thing for 10 years. Not a single little, because you found something that worked and you kept doing that. Nothing wrong with that. That's perfectly fine. Wisdom comes in, and then every so often, like wisdom comes in and says, hey, maybe you can be more mindful with your routine. Maybe you can put some mindfulness into it. And then you can add some of your spiritual work, some of your inner work, taking charge of how you feel inside, adding some goodness into the things that you already do. You don't have to change a thing. You can just bring some more in mindfulness into it. And so, wisdom, you've been here before and you know what to do. The routines, you've been here, you know what to do, you know how to do it. And sometimes we do it because we're afraid that we're going to disappoint other people, we're going to be judged. And sometimes the wise choice to make in certain things or certain routines that you have built up, it might not be the most popular choice. And it might not be the most popular choice because by you changing something in your routine, you might force the other people to be more mindful in their life. And that's the gift, that they don't know it's a gift. They be upset first, because first they're going to be upset. You're changing my stuff here. Now I have to think about things. What are you doing? And then you are over here and you're like, okay, so I'm going to try this new thing and I'm going to be more mindful. I'm going to find, because you want to find more peace, you want to find more happiness and enjoyment in your life. And that's just what you're bringing to the table. It just takes a little bit of time sometimes to for the other people to understand it. So just do it anyway. It might not be the popular choice at first, but just trust that inner guidance and trust this. Choose for the highest good in this situation. And the highest good is to be more mindful of the things that we take for granted, because we have so many things to be so grateful for that, like, if you think about 100 years ago, there was no way that they had any of these things. And it makes our life so much easier and so much better. And then how can you be more mindful and gratitude and have gratitude and be grateful for it and bring that into your regular routine? Wisdom, your heart already knows what that looks like for you. Your heart already knows the way. You just have to trust it. And once you start to trust it, it might not look like the routine is supposed to look like. It might look more fun than the routine is supposed to look like. Or it might look more peaceful. Or it might look like you have more joy when you do it. And why not? Why not bring some more joy into things? Why not bring some more peace into things? Why not bring some more of these goodness that life is offering us that we just forget to bring into our day-to-day business? Being more mindful. How can we be more mindful? Be more mindful of who you interact with and what they are saying and how you interact with them. Being more mindful of how you speak when you're out speaking to people. Most of the time, people gossip or they judge things or they're scared or talking about something terrible that happened or something that is like the routines that they go through or how everybody else is doing. Most people don't really talk about how they feel about it or how they experience it, or they talk about, like, I just brought some more mindfulness into my morning routine and you know what, it made me feel so much better. Or maybe other people be like, why are you so happy today? You look so happy. Are you seeing somebody? No, I just put some more mindfulness into my daily routine and it made me feel like this because now I appreciate everything much more. And so then you can bring these things into conversations. People who don't want to change are not going to like it. When you start changing and making little changes and being more happy and being more peaceful, you would think that the other people would be happy for you. Well, that doesn't always necessarily happen because they're upset because they don't have it and they're not willing to change. They're not willing to implement. They're not willing to see it in a different way. They're too fearful and scared of change. But you, with your wisdom, being here with your wisdom, you know that putting mindfulness into any kind of any part of your life, any part of what you're doing in your life is going to transform it. And all things in life change. It always is changing. Everything is always changing. Every day your body is changing. Where you get born this big and then you die up there, and everything has been changing the whole time. It's been changing from day to day to day. So that's the process of life. And you're somewhere in this process of life. And transforming is, sometimes you can transform instead of just going through the outer changes. You can go within, and now you can start transforming by simply acknowledging the routines that you already do them. And then maybe you put more gratitude in there. You put more joy. You're feeling more, just feeling more grateful for it, allowing that to come into your life. So moving into the next stage of your life, it doesn't mean that you have to forget the past. It doesn't mean that all the experiences that you have led up to this point, All the experiences that you have already had, they are still your experiences. Everything that you have already had is still, but you got to find a way to let it go so that you can find mindfulness in your everyday living, being mindful about like how much your past is influencing your current choices. Being like if you're drifting and you don't know what to do, like get help, find a mentor, find someone, ask about it. How can I get out of this drifting scenario that I'm in? What can I do practically to get out of this? And there will be shown, maybe you see someone, a video about someone making their bed every day, creating a routine, making something. Then you have a purpose, a little bit of a purpose, cleaning your room, making sure that it's tidy, and it's all these things. They seem so simple, but they're very really big, like major breakthroughs sometimes, especially if you're just drifting. You get up, you leave it like it is, you just drift through the day, and there you go to bed again, drifting in, drifting out, drifting in, drifting out. Being mindful of how much of your past is lingering in your present moment, so that you can be mindful of how much it colors your outlook on your life today. How can you find a way to let it go so that you can transform your life simply by making little routines or being more mindful in the little routines that you already have them in your life? How can you bring more mindfulness to it, more gratitude to it, more being present in it? It will transform and it will change everything for you. Your life will be better. The relationships that you have with others will be better. You are going to better understand where to set your boundaries down. You're going to better understand how this person always makes you feel a certain way afterwards. And then maybe you put the boundaries, you don't interact with them like that anymore because you don't like feeling like that. And you're doing your inner work. You're trying to create a good life for yourself and the people in it. And you're trying to be a person who can show up for other people and can be something good for other people. And so you don't need people coming in and swaying your energy, saying things that make you feel a little bit less than, saying things that is ignoring your gifts, or saying things that are keeping you from your path. So being more mindful of how the people that you interact with, how they actually make you feel. When they leave, do you need to smudge everything? Or do you need to like take a nap because you're exhausted? Or do you feel like energized and want to continue with your projects or want to get going on whatever idea that you currently have? Like people have different impacts on us. And that's one thing to be mindful about is in your everyday life is how they inflict you in your day-to-day living. It's going to make a huge difference for you and it will transform everything for you in a good way. And it always keeps getting better and better. Esther and Abraham says, if you believe that something is good and you do it, it benefits you. If you believe that something is bad and you do it, it is very detrimental experience. And this can be the same thing that you do, just how you experience it, what you think about it. If you believe that it's good, it's going to be good for you. If you believe that it's bad, it's going to be bad for you. And it can be the same thing. And that's kind of odd. So get clear and happy about whichever choice you make, being more mindful of the choices that you make, because it is your contradiction that causes the majority of the conflict and the contradiction in the vibration. And the beautiful light in me, it honors and it loves and it does respect the same beautiful light in you. And until next time, namaste.